right?
I was thinking that in the general thing, that is what we're doing already.
Yep.
Like you should be in charge of the image.
Yeah.
If there is something that you really need me to say something, then you should ask me.
Yeah.
And I'm doing also the same with the light. And so, yeah, because we have to do many things at the same time.
Yes.
I mean, that's what we're doing actually. It's just I mentioned.
Yes. Yeah, thanks.
It's weird chat. Weird chat. Like now I'm aware that it's different.
In the camera or what?
They chat like I'm aware that I'm talking to the camera somehow.
Yeah, the color. For the 3 viewers.
Yes.
I mean, we can do it however we can do it. I mean, it's more.
Yeah,
like,
let's try to work it at the camera.
Yeah. Oh, this I really hate that. Like the ones I know, most of them, the kettle, if you lift it, it will turn it off, right?
I don't know.
Like it's on, you lift it, it's off, and you put it back, it will not boil anymore.
I don't
But
know.
this does. So if you pour it, it's still on, and then the tiny bit is left. You put it back, it's still boiling, and that was what's happening now, and I just hate it. And if there's only a tiny bit of water left in the kettle, it will not turn off by itself. Anyways.
Where's my fucking nose? I think I forgot my book. Here? I want to see this. No? No. Wait.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Did you manage to? Did you watch any video from the recording of yesterday?
No.
I
mean, scrolled a little bit, but
I watched from the 360 up to 15 minutes.
okay.
Yeah.
Actually, I checked it just to find like a nice screenshot.
Yeah, I saw that you put it there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also took some screenshots that were nice.
Yeah. But then I noticed that the lighting is very critical. Sometimes it's just we don't see anything. I'm not saying that
For the documentation.
for the documentation,
Yeah.
because if we were in, we don't really know it.
Yeah.
That's just
Yeah. Yeah, especially when the image is flat, because it's less when you have the 360 because you can move and then record it again by editing. But yeah, when the image is flat, I know what you mean, because that's a problem I was having sending you videos, because it's way different than if I send you the flat image than sending you my video with the Insta360.
But how is the workload for you to upload 360 videos?
It demands because so it's not so many the steps that I need to take, but it's still because there are pieces I need to put them in Premiere and render. So there are not so many steps, but the fact that my brain still is there it takes until yesterday. When I finished 2 things to render videos was like 12, so it took me like 2 hours. So
yeah, this is like something also I wanted to discuss, because we have a lot of videos, but then like now we have nice video camera that can do 4K, but if I want to convert it to something to upload, it will take some time, and it generates separate files. Like each is like 4 gigabyte, and then after that it will save in another file. So on my computer, I have to stitch them like separate recordings into one video, and this will take some time. Yeah. So like we have to think a bit. Like we have no, I think it's good that we're recording a lot of things, but also we need to think how to optimize it a bit, if that's possible.
Yeah.
Or just say that, sometimes, okay, this recording we just do frontal, this one we just do 360. So it's not always.
I think I will say like it comes more from what do you need, like from oneself. Said for instance, like if I need from my needs documenting, that I'm just documenting now the 360.
Yeah.
If I need something to know from you, or what I want your input, then I will ask you something. I think I also will try to start recording my screen. So then I will have two recordings. That is different. But I mean, as long as you can. So just try to find a flow. And if you want to think it together, just bring it to the space and then we think together. Which I guess is what you're trying to do right now.
Yeah.
I think it comes down to, so I guess we want to edit something for the documentation. I think I like the way how you cut stuff. So I think it's more. To be honest, like my feeling is that at this point, because we are just at the sábado, domingo, lunes, today is martes, right? So just 3 days. So my feeling still is that we should just record as much as we can. Don't focus too much in the quality of the image. For instance, like the first day I did it. The first day I took 5K 60 frames per second. I make a video, so that was overkilling for I think.
Yeah.
So I think my feeling is like until we start proposing a structure that I guess maybe I guess we have to decide more when we want to start. I think we should start being more careful of the quality of the image once we have something that has more structure. Like now we are still just trying things, so it's more for documentation purposes.
Documentation. Because then if it's just a word, like documentation sounds like we have to have 4K proper video, but that's not like more like
I would say it's more
archive.
It's more okay. Yeah. You can think like that.
Yeah, I was thinking like if I record 4K all the time, like just the hard drive will blow up and take processing time takes long.
That's something also that I was thinking that maybe for the production money we could use, like we need to buy some hard drives. We could use, especially for like fast hard, like I think I will buy a fast SSD because I'm using, when I'm rendering, I'm doing it with the external SSD.
Okay.
So I think I will buy just one SSD.
Okay. I was thinking about
computer.
This is something different. Yeah, just take notes. I was thinking about this onboarding question. So like, you said something about the snowflakes.
Snowflake, yes.
Yeah, something that
the maestro. Maestro Mato did.
From the resume.
Amazing.
No, like that's something that people can understand, right? That's the whole thing that what Hydra would do is noise basically.
It carries more information,
Yeah.
In my words, it's more.
I think that's the definition of information because it's more like.
There's more information. People have to process more things. Yeah.
Well, it's both scientifically and contextually.
Yeah, I think so.
Conceptually. And then, I was trying yesterday and today I was walking around the forest, the hill, try to record a bit of like videos walking around there.
Okay.
Thinking, like, for example, this, if we just project that, that's something that people can understand what's happening.
Also because it's from here.
Exactly.
Yes.
So, just, like thinking about, I'm just trying it out. I can show it to you later, but this could be like another way of...
That's kind of like in these ideas of handlers.
Or you're using handler in different ways now. Because that was like the timer thing, also, you said handler.
Like, let's try to say like somehow, I think handler is, because yesterday I was also mixing two different things. I think one is that we should try to put ideas. Okay, let me get this is organized here. Movina. That's what I think I use the word form, or like shapes, like concrete shapes. Concrete shapes. And let's just start from things that we already, from the practice, we know that are concrete shapes, like painting the nails, I would call that a concrete shape. Nails, makeup, what else that do you think from practice we do or you do? I know I change my clothes.
I mean, it could be also movements.
But depends. I mean, like, no, but because depends. Yeah, I guess.
The phrase.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like, don't go yet there because this is new. Like, I'm speaking of like, like in the practice, we often paint on nails. We often use makeup. Or I'm speaking me. Like I often paint my nails during these 4 years. I often use makeup. I often change my clothes.
Eating.
Reading. And then in this point, I think we need, I will put in capital letter, we need to define a text. So let's not talk about that right now. What else do I do? What do you do?
Playing video.
I mean, how concrete is, like, let's say, let me put it in a different way, with different words. Like I said, so Hydra, because Hydra is a system that opens another system within. Like if I use, for instance, this, for me Hydra will be already like, okay, Hydra for me, in my words is like green. I try to do green key. I always try to do feedbacks. Yeah, this is, I guess, there are two things that I try, that I remember often, I try to do, and I struggle to put out. So when you speak about videos, for instance, how can you, I don't remember you putting videos.
What do you mean?
Because you said videos, no?
Which video, like what I just said, like playing YouTube videos?
Ah, okay, that was the music, yeah, like using YouTube. Yeah, YouTube, yeah.
I mean, I also like, I remember like, at one point I had this recording from the train, and I was just playing this glitch video, like just, from the window of the train. Anyways, some video footage.
So in YouTube, if I think, so this is the kind of like, from yesterday what I said, like, so for me that's, YouTube is a system, like it's within, so you have these things, and you can do the same in each of these, painting nails could be just a system, and then within a painting nails you can start say, okay, but maybe I'm just gonna paint the left hand, or you can say like 2 hands, and you can start like indenting more things, which makes the whole thing more propense to chaos. So what I think on YouTube, then I think in the practice for 40 years, I know we use kitsch, kitschy songs / pop, right? Sometimes then I use some. Actually, it's not true. I mean, in classical,
also like some ambient stuff.
Ambient. I remember at some point I was into like using shaman music. That is kind of, so shaman music.
Well, trippy one, like trippy.
That was something that was shamanistic that I was using for a while, like often. And it has this comment on shamanic. Shamanic is Indian. It has this. I think it has a political connotation somehow, like the fact that I am there, that you are there, and the music is there, and what we're doing somehow. What else? Like what you were saying about the train?
It was just a video that I recorded from the train.
And you played.
And I was playing it.
So it could be. You see, like for instance, like the video YouTube already expand as a system in the sense that this is footage that you took, right?
Yeah, I mean it's not from YouTube.
That's what I'm saying. Like they're connected with the concept of the system. So YouTube is not only YouTube, but could be already footage. Like you walking outside and recording here.
Right.
So footage. Outside. Okay, let's move on for something else. What else do we do? What do you think? What do you do? How about Hydra? Everything in Hydra. Are they things that you do often? Things that you use often? You often model this stuff, no?
Yeah, but then it's hard to break down things now because you could put colorama or you put saturate, but then what kind of the granularity we're talking about.
Yeah.
But I'm more interested in actions that's connected to us, not about specificity of coding. I mean, what's also different is that when we are doing it online, we're using Live Lab, so we have to connect to Live Lab somehow, screen share, and also Hydra to
So Live Lab is there normally in the past.
Yeah.
We have always Live Lab was there.
And the feedback, you have to connect from yours to mine and to yours again.
So Live Lab, and there was the switcher,
Yeah.
Switcher and feedback of the other one. Yeah. So there was this consciousness of using the image of the other one.
Right. And then if we say about Hydra, then it's more about layering. What's in the foreground, what's in the background, to make the feedback. Is that a question? Because if foreground image is me, and if that's everywhere, then I don't see you in the background, for example. So it's kind of something that you have to work.
But this is interesting because for instance, I would like to start this conversation with. Let me think to try to. So already you mentioned this in the past as background and foreground, some days in the past. I think it's an interesting concept. So I think in time, and this is something that it comes more from you, right? So it's more situated from you. So in time, I think I would like to start understanding more of that. So just as an invitation to when you can just share things around this thing. Because it's something that I guess is situated from your things. So you know why is that. Yeah, so the exercise, for instance, like what I'm trying to do here right now, is that in my head, and somehow I would put it somehow like that as a kind of like a conceptual category. Like this, I would say is more about composition of an image in my head. Right now, I'm putting here just flat things. For instance, like the comment that I did here about identity. It enters somehow within this idea of a shaman in my head. So for instance, like abstraction is, I think it's like abstraction is just abstraction is the ultimate object of mathematics. Like it just uses logic. So I think one of the most difficult things to abstract in this list, and especially I guess for you, will be Hydra, because there are so many elements that it happens. In my head, it's easy to think in, oh, now to model it, because I don't code that much with Hydra, right? While you have to do a way more complicated level of abstraction to try to do this that I said, just green key and feedbacks, because the amount of information that I have to just generate one word for me to abstract what I want to say, that is what I'm saying when I say green key, that is just an abstraction, is that in my practice working with Hydra, when I'm saying green key, is that I use a code that allow me to use image in my background. Because my information is limited also. So it makes it easy for me to abstract that information. Like, you really know how these things work in terms of layers and these things, so it will demand a really higher level of abstraction for you.
No, it's the opposite of abstraction. I mean, I kind of understand what you mean, but what I'm doing is not abstraction, but it's opposite. Because I have to put it down to the code. From abstract idea to concrete code.
Yeah, but like,
I know where you're going, but I just want to be a bit clear about this, because sometimes it's abstraction more, because if we...
No, but like, because I think like abstraction is defined by... Okay, let's just be clear with this. Abstraction in mathematics is the process of extracting the underlying structures, patterns, or properties of mathematical concepts. Refers to the process of simplifying complex. So it says like abstraction in math refers to the process of simplifying complex ideas or objects by focusing on essential characteristics while ignoring irrelevant details, allowing for generalization and easier understanding of concepts. My understanding before somehow of abstraction is that abstraction is when you make, like when people speak about abstract paintings, often in my head was more like mixed colors or things that are kind of more blurry. But what this is saying, and it's coming from mathematics, is like this comes from logic. The abstraction actually is a process of simplifying, so it's not a process of making things more complicated, right?
In a way, I guess.
I mean, no, in a mathematical, scientific, like that's why, like for instance, like language is based on language is a symbolic representation of logic. So,
Who said that? Can you read the definition just?
the principal method of human communication consisting of words used in a structured and conventional way and conveyed by speech or gesture.
It's very concrete.
Yeah, like so, but that's the thing of like abstraction in my understand that's what I understand from the mathematic definition, which is based on logics, is and this comes from Aristotle. He was the one who started going there, and that's the base of scientific method in history. Is you just from something very complex you abstract until you put a word in logic steps in a pyramid, which is the way how, for instance, like in research is the way how normally you will do it. No? Like you start from this and then slowly you go until you put one word. So it simplifies complex things. Like I guess what I was saying with language is that language, in a way, I see it as kind of as the ultimate. I mean, we communicate by the fact that just we use sounds, put it into something that just they represent things, or the sounds, because already we both speak this thing that is English. The sounds that are produced they're understood for you. In that sense, it's like you can think like from this idea of information, like we have this base. If you will start speaking Japanese, I cannot understand you, even if we both start speaking of the same subject, because we don't have the base ground in the system for we to understand the message. And yeah, so in this idea of abstraction, is abstraction. I know it sounds or at least that was my feeling at some point, but I thought abstraction is more when you make things more blurry somehow. That was my feeling. But abstraction, it is more, it refers of simplifying complex ideas. Yeah.
Okay, read it again.
Abstraction in math refers to the process of simplifying complex ideas or objects by focusing on essential characteristics while ignoring irrelevant details. Yeah. So, if you put it from what we talked about in information of yesterday, like the basic idea thing of information is like there is a transmitter, there is a receiver, right? And then there is a message passed through a medium. Say like right now we are using air to communicate these sounds. We both are speaking English, so the base ground is like we know the code, right? Like base of the code we know it is like we both speak that we say there and we know. This is very interesting now because I think it's clear like we both are not native in English. So there will be a threshold that we reach, right? So that's the amount of information that we can convey between the transmitter and the receiver is limited for us because our codes are not so expanded as native speakers. Native speakers will have more code or more information. They will have more base ground to speak more complex words. We will have a threshold that we reach at some point in our communication. Does that make sense?
I know what you're trying to say. I don't necessarily agree, but I understand what you mean. I mean, it really depends on, because That's actually a really tricky statement because native speaker doesn't mean that they have good vocabulary, right?
No.
So you're assuming that if they have same level of vocabulary, that is much more than us. Because we can say that, for example, I know a little bit of Spanish, so if you start speaking Spanish, that could be more than two native English speakers.
But I think because
that's just...
No, you're completely right. I mean, but that's the thing, that you can start. This interesting, I don't know what is the threshold when you can just get lost in information or in demand or entropy. Said one can assume there is a proper way to speak English. Assume and there are academies of language, right? So assume that based on what the academy says is that so it's people who speak proper English, which often happens where I remember the case in Netherlands when I was learning Netherlands. I think I spoke more properly from the Alchemy Netherlands or the Netherlands that they use in the news than my girlfriend, because she grew up with that, so she's not speaking proper Netherlands. So there is this at some point becomes in that can go.
But actually, it's really interesting because this is exactly what so in the US they don't have such an academy or authority that defines this is English. Basically, what is English, American English, is what is spoken.
And they don't have
in Netherlands or France, they have this institution that says kind of defines.
But they don't, are they not bound to in Spanish there is la Real Academia de la Lengua Española is. I mean, there is such a thing, so I'm imagining maybe there is something for...
maybe private things in the States, but there is no public institution in the States.
No, this thing also is not Colombian. It's a Spanish thing, but all of this who speak Spanish somehow...
But it's a public thing, no?
In Spain, not in Colombia.
But I've been talking about Spain, yes.
It's a public thing in Spain.
Yeah, but in the US there's no public institution that says this is English. That's something I learned when I was studying academic writing, because how you can write proper English, quote unquote, is by learning from what people write or speak. Mm-hmm. And there is nothing that you can see, look up and see this is proper English. Maybe in the UK, I don't know actually British English, but American English is not. And I wanted to put this reference. I put it on Discord. I don't know if you saw it, but it's quite old reference from 2017, so you might have seen it on news back then. But
wait, I'm just trying to. Where?
Where do we go down? It's this one.
Balls. Visit site.
So basically, Facebook made like a chatbot kind of thing that learns. So basically they started from English and then two chatbots talk to each other and they kind of, the language evolved by learning from each other. And what happened is, so there's a, snippet from the conversation after they learned further. Bob, so there's Bob and Alice. Bob, I everything else. Alice, balls have zero to me, 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 to Bob. You, I, everything else. Alice, balls have a ball to me, to me, to me, to me, to me, to me, to me. Bob, I, everything else. I think I read it really well. So basically they're communicating something that we don't really understand, but it's evolves from English. And I really like this reference. It's just...
Yeah.
It's funny. But they are communicating something.
No, they're communicating, absolutely. Because, so this idea of information, which is information theory, just information, is a theory where from which technology, electronics are, or where things that are using bytes and bits is based on. Is the theory from where that comes from. It just says that the information theory is defined by what the receiver learns that it didn't know before. And it's just that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not expected, right? If it's something expected, then it's no information.
You can put it in those words, like, yeah, I guess.
I mean, because learn is a bit contextual. But yeah, like new thing, something new.
Yeah, something new, something that you put new in the system that you didn't have in the system before.
I mean, it doesn't have to be system, but yeah, it's something new. The receiver.
The receiver, exactly. Which although, I mean, in cybernetics, like the way to see in a system is just everything is a system somehow. And then you have clusters within clusters, and it just goes into infinite. But okay, let's try to go to go back to this. I think we have some things here. This is anyways one invitation. Like already, I tried to put some notes in that, because these are concrete things that already we have done. Okay, because I just wanted to do that. Notes. Okay, so about the yesterday practice, what if we it's half an hour, like would you be up like to watch the practice and then just come back and talk? Take some notes and then we just talk?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think we should do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Then I mean I'm halfway. So just you do it, and so said if we meet again to talk both at 12:30.
Yeah. No, I'm just thinking about lunch. Should we do it before or after?
We can do it actually after, but I don't feel so hungry right now.
A bit more about the break to me. I also don't want I think let's take a break for so it takes half an hour to watch, and then plus an hour and a half. That will be 2. We meet at 2?
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, cool. I was thinking maybe to go to the Indian restaurant yours yesterday.
Yeah.
Would you be up for that?
I don't want to go again. I mean, not 2 days in consecutive.
Yeah.
But I mean, we could. No, but I think because then if we go together, then we talk. So maybe it's good to be a bit away.
Yeah. I also feel like such a to go there. I mean, we're gonna start. We're gonna meet at 2.
I'm gonna just stop it here.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching.